Why are we pocket watching ZZZ? Guys, I'm hoping that one day the game becomes good.
I'm sorry, I'm having trouble hearing you. I'm getting a lot of bullshit on this line.
Hello everyone, my name is Arikaru Zuran, a new content creator in the gacha space whom gained a lot of attention very early on for my coverage of Saintontas, a very polarizing content creator whom primarily covers Wuthering Waves while heavily criticizing Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero for how they've been mishandled by their development company Hoyoverse over the last year or so. In an attempt to build a professional relationship with an established content creator to help get my channel off the ground, I integrated myself into the Saintontas community, while spending time in his space of the internet in both the public Discord server and making an appearance to as many livestreams as possible. My patience was tested as someone who held a preference for Zenless Zone Zero over Wuthering Waves. Unfortunately, due to a combination of taking my residence in a community that was incredibly laxed and vocal with their dissatisfaction of ZZZ, hanging around a creator who was very comfortable with his unfiltered approach to critique when it comes to both gacha games and content creators, as well as personally cultivating a community myself who would actively reward me for taking shots at the #1 Kuro bot, I would go on to make content that would continually push and pull me across both sides of the line, and I would lose sight completely of what I had intended for my channel to be from the start. With time to reflect and a long talk with Ethan, I would begin to take the steps to clean house, so to speak, and put myself back on the right track. I publicly took accountability for my behavior to the disappointment of a lot of my viewers, combed through and took videos I was not proud of out of my publicly viewable content, and personally left the Saintontas community in favor of exploring other established creators, spending a minimum amount of time seeing what he's up to just keep a pulse on current gacha trends and discussions that might be relevant to anything I want to talk about in the future. To anyone saying that Saint is in control of what I say and what I upload, I would like to remind you that my ZZZ TV mode video is still up and I have no intention of taking that down. I will not be swayed over my opinions of Wuwa's ecosystem, and I will take my opinions of Arknight's Enfield with me to my grave. I've simply decided to be more mindful of what I choose to cover and how I talk about it. Admitting you've made a mistake or want to make a change shouldn't be seen as a sign of weakness, either in public or on social media. It's a willingness to identify problems with your own character and a personal drive to rise above those shortcomings. Unfortunately, this kind of mentality is in short supply as of late, and it's even worse within the gacha space as everyone, myself included, falls on some line of a damaged state of mind as we all play these parasocial, thinly veiled gambling games. The best solution truly is to just remove yourself from the situation and focus on cultivating a more positive self and community. As Saintontas continues to lay it on hard, be it fairly or unfairly on Hoyoverse games, opposing content creators of varying audience sizes continue to use his coverage of certain subjects as opportunities to rally a vocal community against him in an effort to expose and ostracize him. Now, let me be clear. I happen to agree with comments made on both sides. I agree with Saint that ZZZ is struggling to capture an audience outside of those already dead set on continuing to play the game. Its content offerings are all over the place, its story hasn't been of the same quality since version 1.4, and for me personally, Hoyoverse doesn't deserve to be running their gacha system within ZZZ at the same rates and 5-star odds as Genshin or Star Rail when there are so many problems surrounding the game. On the other end of the spectrum, I agree with those in opposition of Saint with how his coverage of these subjects can come off as excessive, overblown, and one-sided when juxtaposed with his approach to covering Wuthering Waves. Saint may have said multiple times in the past that he wants ZZZ to succeed and do right by its players, but I'd wager it's not a stretch to say that anyone with little to no knowledge or familiarity with him are likely to find his hopes for a better ZZZ to be hard to believe. I've already made my opinions known of Saint and the Wuba community multiple times in the past, but now I want to direct my attention to the ZZZ side, specifically those whom opt to farm him for whatever personal reasons they may have for doing so. And interestingly enough, I happen to have a great response I can use to act as the foundation to address the matter. Before I set my Gacha drama video to private, one of the comments I received on that video came from Rezi, a Zenless Zone Zero content creator primarily known for using Billy Kid, a starter 4-star character, to clear endgame content. In his response, Rezi gives his personal experience starting out in ZZZ, how he mostly kept out of Saintontas drama until things began to escalate, his perspective of Saint taking a double standard approach to critique of the game when compared to Wuthering Waves, and how he claims to not be a drama channel through his transformative approach to addressing matters involving Saint. I did check a few of his videos myself, and his claims of using a clickbait thumbnail, calling Saint out, and the remaining footage just being gameplay of Billy checks out. My issue with Rezi, and by extension other Saint drama farmers, is a textbook example of having your cake and eating it too. They want to take advantage of the analytics of drama content without bearing the title of being a drama channel. And if we were to look at that from the standpoint of their content as a whole, yes, you could say a majority of their content is not drama. However, what you are known for and what you are actually is two separate things. If your drama content gets a level of viewership that completely eclipses all non-drama content, then you will be treated with the same attention and expectations as an actual drama channel, to the massive influx of new viewers whom have no interest in seeing your other content. As the saying goes, build 100 bridges but you suck one dick, you're not a bridge builder, you're a dick sucker. I should know. It's the reason why the video on my channel page is me calling myself out for claiming to not be a drama channel. I've sucked that one dick before. Following this line of logic, to say that the ZZZ community is a chill community with no toxicity in it is something of a half-truth. Yes, the wider community probably isn't hostile and unreasonable, but if you partake in the drama and cultivate a community around said drama, I don't think it's fair for you to say you're part of the toxic free community. And if your counterpoint is that someone needed to get their hands dirty to combat Saint, I would like to remind you that Kete the 7th and Average Luck Gamer are both some of the most successful ZZZ content creators in the space without ever having to resort to drama. Kete himself even had a talk with Saint about power creep for an hour and a half without even losing his cool, to the point where he had to write a pinned comment to address people who were upset at Kete for not going harder on Saint. Drama content related to video game critique is not that deep, and really shouldn't be taken so seriously at the cost of your community's public image, especially within the Western sphere of gacha gaming, a demographic of players that will always be viewed as an inferior voice in the space when compared to the Eastern market and player base. Creators like Tectone, Gacha Smack, Nicholas Light, Asmongold, and of course, Saintontas have a reach that only ever goes as far as social media spaces in the West, occasionally breaking out to worldwide discussion under the rarest and most extreme circumstances. Zenless Zone Zero, as of right now, has the smallest voice in the Western space of the gacha industry of the Big Four. As such, the community needs to be more mindful of how they present themselves to outsiders. This includes content creators. ZZZ won't ever die on Western influence alone, but its radical members can have a greater impact on public reception and overall community health. If you believe Saint is in the wrong with his opinions of Zenless Zone Zero, then your counter should be to provide a welcoming space that actively clashes with what he presents. Kete and ALG should be your North Star whom you should follow in to promote a space people want to engage in. Yes, drama content can be easier to produce with the potential for a high payoff, but that comes at a price. And it's your public image of a creator and the community you stand for. Please keep this in mind when creating future content, for the sake of yourself, your channel, and the people you speak for. Now, as much as I would like to close out now, when collecting images for this video, I stumbled across a video from Loki Gacha that I've never seen before, and I feel compelled to address it now that I'm aware of its existence. I have no personal history with Loki Gacha, other than briefly talking about him in my now private Gacha drama video, where I drew attention to his use of a white VTuber model despite him being a person of color in real life. It was just generally a video I wasn't proud of making, which is why I took it down from the public viewing following my apology video. A day after my apology video, Loki would upload a short video addressing gacha content creators who can't stand by their own opinions and beliefs in the name of clout or saving face, using the thumbnail of my video in his footage. I'm not going to say I'm the reason he made the video, but it kind of looks like that, doesn't it? Since I guess my message fell on deaf ears the first time, I'm gonna repeat myself and clarify some things. Loki, I have made it clear in the past multiple times that I disagreed with the opinions of Saintontas and how he goes about critiquing Zenless Zone Zero and its community. My stance has not changed in that regard, even long after taking down the video. I took the video down because I was not in a healthy state of mind when I produced it, and when I had finally came to that realization, I was not proud of what I had made. In that video, I repeatedly raised my voice, accused Saint of farming ZZZ content to make financial ends meet despite ZZZ content being some of the least successful YouTube videos on his channel, and made the wild claim of saying everyone who likes Hoyoverse games are suddenly responsible for the actions of one Chinese person whom killed domesticated animals. I did not stand on business of what I said in that video because said business was not something anyone in their right mind should try to stand on. Believing you have nothing to apologize for in life is an incredibly dangerous mindset that can set you on the wrong path, and I was fortunate enough to recognize that before it was too late. Would you have preferred I also stood on business and not walk back my whitewashing comment that I made of you? You seemed pretty upset when I said that, but in your eyes, I should have stood by that statement. I mean, your react of my video is still up, despite me setting the original video to private out of respect to the people I needlessly took shots at. Your thumbnail even spreads misinformation of me saying, "Fuck Loki." So I guess you're okay with people standing on business with misinformation too, is that it? Loki, I've been in the gacha space for only a little over a month when I started cleaning house. Comparatively, you've had over a year of content creation and interaction in the space to adjust and find where you want to be. 3 years if you want to count your first 2 uploads. In such a short time, I was overwhelmed with an audience I wasn't ready for and made some huge mistakes. But unlike you, I'm willing to take a hit to my reputation until I can finally find a space I feel just right in. Unlike the rest of you, I have no intention of anchoring my channel to whenever Saintontas decides to attack Zenless Zone Zero. You are putting your channel's livelihood in the hands of one man who decides to throw you a bone. You are relying on a few thousand people who are coming not for what you have to say, but who you choose to go after. I have no intention of doing the same. I'm not standing on business, I'm standing for myself. If you cannot recognize that, then I wish you the best of luck with whatever you're doing, and I will continue to go my own way. And with that, I have said all I really wanted to about Saintontas' #1 fans. Since I left the Saintontas community and started cleaning up around my channel, I've felt more comfortable with my work in content creation, and it's clear that my audience, whom comes to hear what I have to say, has been okay with that as well. I'm quite thankful to have you people around to listen to what I've got to say, and look forward to whatever else I will cover on this channel. But until then, this has been Arikado Zodan, and I'm clocking out.